History Month you find ridiculous. Why?
In a world where wokeness has run rampant and taken over everyone's lives, there are a few stars who refuse to play along. Some famous actors are not afraid to destroy woke Hollywood reporters who try to steer the conversation toward politics, identity, or other hot-button issues.
Who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
None of my business?
Let's start with the legendary Matthew McConaughey. You've probably seen him in movies playing the smooth-talking, laid-back guy we all know and love. But when it comes to pushing back against the agenda-driven questions from woke reporters, McConaughey is no pushover. Take his appearance on The View in 2023. He was there to promote his children's book Just Because. But it didn't take long before the conversation veered into politics.
To be most useful?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think you could get elected in Texas being anti-gun?
Do I think I could get elected in Texas being anti-gun? One thing about if me in politics is to give you a direct statement right there is me playing a game that I'm not interested in playing.
Okay.
To give you a direct statement right there.
Here comes Joy Behar, ever ready to take a swing at McConaughey. But McConaughey, calm as ever, wasn't having it. He shot back and pointed his finger to drive his statement home. But McConaughey wasn't the only one who had his fair share of awkward encounters on The View. Kurt Russell, too, had a run-in with the show's host back in 2015. He was promoting a movie and making headlines for his views on gun control. Knowing how reporters love to stir the pot, the host tried to dive into another gun control discussion.
Recently, you made some headlines for saying that you felt gun control laws wouldn't deter terrorists. Explain to folks.
Interesting.
Well, you know, these are these things where...
But Kurt Russell wasn't about to let them drag him into that. He didn't want to be anyone's pawn in the woke debate.
We do what we call the dog and pony.
Right.
We're out doing the dog and pony selling a picture. And you get sometimes you get what you feel is slightly ambushed by somebody who's really got an agenda. And that's sort of, I think, that's my opinion of what happened to me the other day. The last thing I like to watch is entertainers or actors get political. It's just something I can't stand watching.
And instead of playing their game, he explained that there's a massive difference between fantasy movies and reality.
The feeling is that there's a big difference between fantasy land and reality. Fantasy land is what we do. You're either writing something, writing a song, writing a book, doing a movie, doing a television show. That's fantasy land. And that's where that stuff belongs.
You can't compare the two. And he wasn't about to let reporters create drama where there was none.
In reality, when we're dealing with things like terrorism and whatnot, we're all going to have different opinions on how to do it, how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Mine happens to be that I think there's a very strong reason Founding Fathers had for the Second Amendment, and that is that no government ever hasn't had to fight its own people, and its own people hasn't had to fight.
Now, before we continue, we want to make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Denzel Washington has had his own iconic moments where he took woke reporters to school. During a 2016 interview about Fences, a reporter asked why he didn't hire a white actor for the film. Sounds simple enough, right?
So why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have
It's not
produced this
color,
work?
it's culture.
But Denzel wasn't fooled. He immediately pointed out that it wasn't about race. He went on to talk about the difference.
Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List. But they're cultural differences. Yeah. I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference. Not just.
And when the reporter tried to press him further,
The space that we're in, culture versus race, and how important it is, where we are right now as a culture, as an American family. You're producing a film that's culturally germane to a particular time and a particular people. Even the Martin Luther King.
Denzel skillfully shot her down by helping her understand his stance.
That's what you're talking about?
I put that in there.
Huh? You did that?
Yeah, I
Because
put
that was on your,
Jesus
was that on your
everywhere.
wall? Huh?
Okay,
You put
and that
Jesus
wasn't in our
everywhere?
house. You know, and there was that velvet kind of paint. You know, they put that below or whatever.
Denzel didn't stop there. At another event for Fences, a reporter pushed him about race relations under President Obama's leadership.
I want to just ask you, though, about the issue of race relations, because the film touches upon that. Right now, under President Obama, over the last 8 years, in your mind, have race relations improved under his leadership?
Rather than diving into a political debate, Denzel took the high road and offered a much-needed dose of common sense. It takes personal effort to dismantle a narrative.
Have to do with race relationships. You're white or whatever you are, I'm black or whatever I am. We're standing here talking now. That's how we get things done. You can't legislate love. The President of the United States can't legislate us into liking each other. We have to step forward and ask questions about each other and engage.
And then there's Samuel L. Jackson. He's no stranger to controversy, but when it comes to standing up to woke reporters, he's got some unforgettable moments under his belt. Take the time he was promoting Django Unchained. In the midst of discussing the use of the N-word in the film, a reporter named Jake Hamilton tried to sensationalize the conversation.
There's been a lot of controversy surrounding the usage of the N-word in this movie, and
no, nobody, none. The word would be.
Oh, I don't want to say it.
Why not?
I don't like to say it.
Have you ever said it?
No, sir.
Try it.
I don't like to say it.
Try it.
Really? Seriously?
We're not gonna have this conversation unless you say it.
Samuel L. Jackson, not one to shy away from a challenge, immediately called out the reporter.
You want to move on to another question?
Okay, awesome. I don't want to say it.
Come on.
Will you say it?
No, fuck no. That's not the same thing.
Why do you want me to say it?
They're gonna bleep it when you say it on your show. Say it.
I can't say it. If I say it, this question it won't make air.
Okay.
But Jackson wasn't going to let him off the hook that easily. He was just letting the reporter know just how ridiculous the whole thing was. If anyone knows how to put a reporter in their place, it's Jackson.
Okay, forget it.
Okay, I'll skip it. Sorry, guys. It was a good question.
No, it wasn't.
It was a great question.
It wasn't a great question if you can't say the word.
And finally, let's not forget Morgan Freeman. The man is a living legend, and when it comes to dealing with woke questions, he's a master. In an interview with 60 Minutes, Freeman was asked about Black History Month.
History Month you find ridiculous. Why? You're going to relegate my history to a month? Oh, come on. What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? Well, come on, tell me.
He was not having it. Calling out the absurdity of the whole thing was the right move. When the reporter tried to shift the conversation to other racial topics, Freeman hit him with a 1-2 punch, leaving the reporter scrambling for an answer.
Well, I'm Jewish. Okay, which month is Jewish History Month? There isn't one. Oh, why not? No. Do you want one? No. I don't either.
He didn't stop there. Freeman went on to share his thoughts on how to solve racism.
Black history is American history. How are we going to get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
Simple yet incredibly powerful. That's how you shut down a woke agenda, by focusing on what really matters, treating people as people, not labels. The next time you see an actor faced with a loaded question, remember these moments. Do you think these actors are actually standing up for truth, culture, and common sense? Let us know in the comments.